The program you're about to watch is underwritten by Allergan. The views expressed therein are solely those of the doctors. First time at a dermatology office, or maybe you're an old pro. There are important do's and don'ts we want you to know about before you see your dermatologist. We have a glow-getter who has a question about the patient-doctor relationship. Let's watch.
Hi, my name is Bethany Brichta. I'm a fundraiser living in New York City, and I have a question about whether dermatologists think about the psychology and interpersonal relationships that they have with their patients, especially when they're dealing with a subject that feels very sensitive and personal, such as your external presence.
That's a really great question, and I think about it all the time because I believe that how you look is a reflection of your overall health and well-being, and that what we project is really important. We want people to see us a certain way, and when they come to a doctor, they're very vulnerable. And as dermatologists, no matter what they come in for, if it's acne, eczema, a rash, or an infection, they care about how they look. So let's go to our librarian first. Sabrina, what are the studies behind doctor-patient relationship and how you translate that into the do's and don'ts of what you want your patients to come in asking you?
Well, there was a large global trial that was done in over 5 countries, 5,000 patients, and what they found was that the number one reason a patient will end up choosing you after they've seen on average 2.5 physicians is trust. 83% of patients ultimately chose that doctor based on trust. So yes, we are mindful of the psychology of the patient because ultimately they need to trust us to embark on that journey with us.
So how do you build that trust with your patients?
You have to be honest, and you have to be honest not only about the
but
benefits.
Not brutally honest.
Well, maybe. I mean, you have to be brutally honest because if not, then they're going to come back unhappy. They're going to lose faith or hope that there is possibility for what they want. Maybe they don't have realistic expectations, and you have to impart that for them. And if you're not brutally honest and you don't impart them, then they will not have trust in you, even though what you're doing is still making a meaningful difference.
So Ava, in LA, where you see a lot of celebrities and people who are celebrities or people who come in wanting to be like a celebrity, their expectations are not realistic from the get-go. They have selfies that they come in with. So how do you walk that line, and what do you tell your patients?
Well, I think the most important thing is to start from a point of compassion for the person, because the person may be trying to be someone, who they're not, or to aspire to something that's not possible. But to have real compassion for them in their search for what they feel is their best look. So that's what my job is to help them find their best look. So in the case of actresses, you won't believe this, but some actresses come in and they say, "Why don't I look like such and so?"
Oh, they're people just like
so
us.
Great. Yes, they're just like us. And so I always have to explain to them, well, you have a completely different career and it's going to be fine. But for the actresses to understand that the aging process is okay and that they just have to look their best. And so then that applies to everyone else.
And I think it's really important for doctors to use their staff efficiently too. Not just efficiently, but to really gather information. Right away, the doctor-patient relationship is threatening to a lot of patients.
Right.
So we have to understand that. We have to be empathic. And I think that our staff is often much easier to talk to. And so when we come in the room, if we have a little preview of their fears or their anxiety, it really helps us to kind of sit down, take it slower, and be there for the patient.
And I named my practice Image Dermatology because I wanted to help people with their self-image, because growing up I had bad acne, bad eczema, both my brothers were modeling, and I wanted to improve my own image ultimately first, and now I want to help patients put their best face and foot forward. So it's something I think about constantly. So talking about image, talking about self-image, talking about where they are and where they want to get to is something I think that all of us, I can speak, obsess about all the time. So of course, in answer to her question, we think about this all the time, and this is what we want to help our patients to bridge from where they are to where they want to be, obviously realistically.
I want to do a rapid fire. I want to start out with what are the do's and don'ts that you want your patients to come in with? So I'll say I want my patients to come in with the list of their questions and maybe a pen to write down the answers so I can answer it. Ava, you go. What's a big do or don't that you want for your patient to come in, that you want your patient to know coming in?
I want my patients to bring a photograph of all of their skincare, to bring a photo of themselves from 10 years before, to bring a list of questions, and to have a,
No makeup, maybe.
and wear no makeup.
Okay. Now, she didn't cover anything, so what would you say?
Do's and don'ts, right?
Do's
so
and
I'd
don'ts.
say a do is to do your research on the person that you're going to go see. Get an idea if it's not just their before and afters that resonate with you and their aesthetic, but also their personality, because you do need to trust who you ultimately, end up having a partnership with. Don't jump around based on deals or other types
love
of
that.
discounts or bargains, because that is not based on trust, and you will ultimately regret your decision.
Ruth,
Don't be afraid to ask anything.
I love that.
Don't be afraid to ask me what I do, and do not think that you can get a bargain with your face. Don't bargain with your face.
Brilliant. And I agree with you. And I would say don't go to a doctor who won't answer your questions or who minds you asking questions. Never forget, your doctor is there to answer your questions, and so are we. Do you have a burning question that only a dermatologist can answer? Watch The Gist to find out.